The single most deterministic aspect of a good investment management, a good investment strategy. It is not forecasting interest rates or the stock market or technology stocks or any of that stuff. It's really, really, really simple. It's also, I think, one of the most scarce attributes in the investment management world, and I know many of my colleagues very, very well. It's patience.
So what's the biggest secret to unlocking value in the investments? Walk us through that, where the aha moments that you're helping clients to have, either, and it maybe not just be in the investments, but it could be their portfolio, it could be their assets. And walk us through, if, perhaps we're meeting for the first time, and what might be a question or two that you might ask me to try to open up the possibility of unlocking that value there.
When we stop, maybe as with many things in life, pursuing the payoff, right? The big returns. I need 10, 12, 15%. I need something very complicated. I need a custom strategy because, my world is complicated. The entire world is complicated. When we stop pursuing those, which frankly are a little bit based in ego, if I may say, we see that. We all have it. I have it. Then we start to focus on what really matters, which is managing the risk part of the conversation. Boring, but it's what really matters. So I've learned two things in my career managing money. Number one, focusing on risk allows you to take advantage of naturally occurring return opportunities. So you're not chasing the return opportunity. You're taking a sensible amount of risk and you're allowing the market to compensate you in its own natural way. And it's lumpy and disruptive and sometimes a little nerve-wracking, but it's a better way. So we focus on determining how much risk we need to take and how much risk the client and the transaction can comfortably sort of coexist with, and then building a portfolio that will optimize the return we hope to get. Never know. Hope. It's from my compliance officer. Hope to get based on that sensible amount of risk. So it's a risk-based approach, not a chasing return approach. Number one. Number two, the single most deterministic aspect of a good investment management, a good investment strategy. It is not forecasting interest rates or the stock market or technology stocks or any of that stuff. It's really, really, really simple. It's also, I think, one of the most scarce attributes in the investment management world, and I know many of my colleagues very, very well. It's patience. The patience born of conviction. When you take a high conviction position, and you take it in your personal, sorry, we've got these fires here in Southern California, which is a separate discussion. And so there's just, the air quality is low. You take a high conviction position in anything, in your life, in your relationships, in your business, in your workout, your diet, in your faith. You take a high conviction position, patience comes easy. But it's combining those two in the right measure. So patience is critical in helping our clients understand you took the right amount of risk, return will come your way, but we need to be patient.
Yeah, so
maybe you're looking for things like, price equity ratio or earnings or things like that, but I really don't think that they matter over reasonably long periods of time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, well, very well said. And I think that patience is probably the most challenging virtue in today's rapid-paced technology information-packed environment. In fact, I think a lot of wise people have said it's no longer an information age, it's an attention age. We're way past information. It's the ability to capture attention, and that, I think, is the biggest challenge to patience. So I love the way you said that, born on conviction or a high conviction foundation. In other words, let's imagine you're building your mindset for investing. If you can build it on a foundation of patience, it's going to have a solid, and conviction, right? Conviction, I guess is maybe the better word. And then you're going to have a big, the second floor is going to be better to have patience. Is that a fair summary on that last point?
Yeah, I think if you have, once you, we talk all the time in the investment committee about high conviction trades, high conviction, positions. And if we can't get to a threshold of high conviction, then we know that our patience will wane, right? Because maybe we didn't really have that to be a commitment. It's important in life, it's important in everything, and it's very important and very scarce in investing because we all want that quick payoff. We all want that hot second quarter number, we can go tell everybody how great we're doing. And it's oftentimes part of folly.
So the ego and pride part, the emotional part of it, the discipline part of it has so much more to do than maybe perhaps just the numbers. Is that a fair summary?
I think it's a fair summary. Look at some of the great investors of all time. My former boss, Bill Gross, uh, you know, uh, Bob Miller at Legg Mason, you know, um, Warren Buffett, right? If you really peel apart, even back in the day, Peter Lynch, you really peel apart what's at the crux. It's really is. It sounds so trite to say it. It really is a high conviction, long term strategy.